I think we've seen the last of Steph Curry as a champion in Golden State.
Fans across the country were stunned when he publicly called out the Golden State Warriors on national television. During a heated discussion, he went beyond simply questioning the Warriors' championship chances. He placed the blame directly on Kevin Durant, arguing that Durant is a major reason Steph Curry hasn't won more championships. And the way he delivered the message was absolutely brutal. The Warriors' falling empire. After years of dominating the NBA, the Golden State Warriors now appear to be facing serious trouble. Their 2025 playoff journey came to a disappointing end when they were eliminated by the Minnesota Timberwolves in just 5 games. Steph Curry missed most of the series because of a hamstring injury, and without their superstar available, Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green were unable to keep the team afloat. Curry is now 37 years old, while both Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler are 35. The veteran trio that once powered the Warriors to multiple championships is getting older, while the rest of the NBA has become younger, quicker, and more athletic. The Warriors once looked nearly impossible to defeat. Now, however, that dominant dynasty is starting to look worn down. And Stephen A. Smith had some extremely harsh words about what went wrong.
ESPN's First Take, Stephen A. Smith said something that shocked fans.
Stephen A. Smith believes we may have already seen the final championship chapter of Steph Curry's career in Golden State. And according to him, the beginning of the Warriors' downfall had nothing to do with Curry's injury. It wasn't even their series against the Timberwolves. Smith believes the real turning point happened months earlier, when Kevin Durant decided against returning to Golden State. I think the moment we truly knew this was happening was when they couldn't get Kevin Durant back, Smith argued. Durant said no, and suddenly, the Warriors had to move on to Plan B. The Warriors turned to Jimmy Butler. After Durant rejected the idea of returning, Golden State quickly shifted its attention to Jimmy Butler. Butler brought playoff experience, toughness, and a reputation for delivering when the pressure is highest. However, Stephen A. Smith questioned whether Butler could still be the superstar the Warriors desperately needed. Jimmy Butler has never had a problem playing Robin, Smith suggested. But can he still be Batman? In his view, the answer was probably no. To be fair, Butler made a positive impact after arriving in Golden State. Across 30 games, he averaged 17.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists. But despite those numbers, the move never truly felt like the massive transformation the Warriors needed. Strong regular season, disaster in the playoffs. After Butler made his Warriors debut on February 8th, Golden State caught fire. The team went on a remarkable 28-11 run and became one of the NBA's strongest defensive teams. Suddenly, the Warriors looked like a legitimate threat to make a deep playoff run. Then everything fell apart. In Game 1 against Minnesota, Golden State appeared to be in control early, but that changed when Steph Curry went down with an injury. From that point forward, the Warriors never looked the same. Butler was also dealing with his own physical problems. He battled an illness while playing through a glute contusion that had reportedly been aggravated earlier in the postseason, and the rest of the roster simply failed to provide enough support. Even when Butler exploded for 33 points in Game 3, Golden State still couldn't get the victory. Buddy Hield later told The Ringer that the Warriors believed they should have been leading the series 3-0. Instead, they found themselves facing a 0-3 deficit. Criticism quickly followed. Steve Kerr's rotations came under scrutiny, while the bench struggled to make an impact. The Warriors simply didn't have the same intensity and explosiveness that had defined them during their championship years. Golden State's lack of depth. Another major problem was the team's depth. Beyond the starting lineup, Golden State's second unit wasn't providing enough production. Their aging core struggled to match the speed and energy of Minnesota's younger roster. The contrast became impossible to ignore. Minnesota had young players coming off the bench who could maintain the intensity, while Golden State's stars were struggling to keep pace. Draymond Green couldn't provide the same impact. Jonathan Kuminga and the other younger players were inconsistent, and Butler looked noticeably less explosive than he had in previous years. Stephen A. Smith summed up the situation with a simple reality. Time catches up with everyone, and in today's NBA, the younger generation is taking control.
Dynasty called out on live TV. On live TV, Stephen A. didn't hold back. His message was clear.
According to Stephen A. Smith, the Warriors' championship window may have officially closed the moment Kevin Durant decided not to return, and bringing in Jimmy Butler as the backup plan simply wasn't enough to change that reality. The reaction from the basketball world was immediate. Some people felt Stephen A. was being unnecessarily harsh, while others argued that he was simply telling the truth about where Golden State stood. Even former players joined the conversation. Udonis Haslem agreed with Smith during the same discussion, arguing that the Warriors had lost the identity that once made them so dominant and may need to start rebuilding from the ground up. Chris "Mad Dog" Russo also declared that the dynasty was over, putting much of the blame on the front office for failing to properly prepare for the future. What if Kevin Durant had returned? That immediately raised the biggest question among Warriors fans. What would have happened if Kevin Durant had actually come back? Could Golden State have won another championship? Might not have been enough to repair every problem on the roster. So what happens next? Now Golden State faces some of the biggest decisions in the franchise's recent history. Do they rebuild? Do they make one final push around Steph Curry? Or is it finally time to move away from the veteran core that carried the organization for nearly a decade? The Warriors front office has made plenty of smart moves in the past, but this situation is completely different. The biggest question is whether they can still surround Curry with enough talent to make another serious championship run, or whether the organization needs to finally turn the page. There have already been discussions about potentially moving veteran players and using draft assets to bring in younger talent. Whatever direction they choose, this offseason could define the next era of Warriors basketball. Some fans are still hoping for one final miracle. Others are already preparing themselves for a completely different Golden State team. Whether the Warriors reload the roster or hand the franchise over to a younger generation, something clearly has to change. Is this really the end? Stephen A. Smith may have sounded ruthless, but there's a chance his prediction is simply the reality Golden State has to face.
But there was also this. There was Dylan Brooks and Jimmy Butler deep in conversation.
So you're a bum, I've been busting your ass for years.
And this was Jimmy talking about those.
The Golden State Warriors looked like they were on their way to the second round, but the Houston Rockets had completely different plans. Game 5 changes everything. Golden State's championship hopes suddenly hit a major roadblock in Game 5, as Jimmy Butler turned in his worst playoff performance since arriving with the Warriors. After putting together a spectacular 27-point performance in Game 4, Butler completely struggled in the next game, finishing with just 8 points on 2 of 10 shooting as Golden State fell 131 to 116. The massive drop in production immediately raised questions about Butler's health and whether the Warriors could still finish the series. But despite the disappointing loss, Butler didn't sound worried when he spoke to the media afterward. Instead, he delivered a confident message heading into Game 6. We're fine. Our confidence isn't going to waver. We're going to start better and play a better overall game. That simple statement showed exactly where Butler's head was as the series headed back to San Francisco for a crucial Game 6. Butler's incredible Game 4 comeback. Just days earlier, Butler had been battling through significant pain. He suffered a pelvic contusion after playing only 8 minutes during the Warriors' Game 2 loss and was forced to miss Game 3. Then came Game 4 on Monday, April 28th. Despite still dealing with the injury, Butler returned and delivered an incredible performance. He finished with 27 points on 7 of 12 shooting, along with 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and a block while playing 40 minutes. His toughness left his teammates stunned. Draymond Green praised Butler afterward, explaining that Butler could barely move for most of the game, but somehow found another gear late. And according to Green, Butler never complained. He simply kept fighting. Steve Kerr was equally impressed. The Warriors coach admitted that during the regular season, an injury like this probably would have kept a player sidelined for another week or even longer. But these weren't regular season games. These were the playoffs. And this was Jimmy Butler. Kerr also pointed to several of Butler's clutch moments, especially his crucial late-game rebound and the strength he showed while fighting through the pain before knocking down important free throws. Jimmy was simply spectacular. Butler explained afterward that he wasn't going to let the injury keep him out. More than anything, he wanted to be on the floor. For Butler, this is what the entire season is about: the biggest games, the highest pressure, and the moments when everything is on the line. He admitted that he hates missing games, but he was happy to be back and felt his movement improving as Game 4 progressed. That makes his Game 5 performance even more surprising. The Warriors' offense falls apart. While Butler struggled, Golden State's entire offense had trouble finding its rhythm. Steph Curry managed just 13 points on 4 of 12 shooting. Surprisingly, the Warriors' leading scorer was Moses Moody, who came off the bench and exploded for 25 points. Kevin Knox, too, added 14 points as a reserve, while Pat Spencer scored 11 before being ejected late in the game. Houston, meanwhile, received contributions from several players. Fred VanVleet led the Rockets with 26 points, while shooting an efficient 8 of 13 from the field. Amen Thompson added 25 points, Dillon Brooks scored 24, and Alperen Sengun finished with 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. The difference was obvious. Golden State couldn't get enough production from its stars, while Houston consistently found players capable of stepping up. Why Jimmy Butler still matters. The dramatic contrast between Butler's Game 4 heroics and Game 5 struggles shows just how unpredictable playoff basketball can be. But there's a much bigger story behind Butler's impact on this Warriors team. Before the trade, Golden State was sitting at a mediocre 25-25 record. Since Butler made his Warriors debut, however, the team has gone 26-9 in games where he played. And the numbers become even more impressive when looking at the team's overall performance with him on the court. With Butler available, Golden State has looked like a legitimate championship contender, ranking first in defense, 8th in offense, and 3rd in overall net rating. Before Game 5, Butler was averaging 18.3 points, 4.7 rebounds, 4.0 assists, and 1.7 steals per game in the series, while shooting an impressive 54.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range. Even more importantly, his chemistry with Steph Curry has been outstanding. When Curry and Butler have shared the floor, the Warriors have posted a remarkable 25-6 record. That combination, alongside veteran leader Draymond Green, has once again given Golden State legitimate championship ambitions. Everything comes down to Game 6. Now, all attention shifts to San Francisco for Friday night's Game 6.